welcome to the Northwest Academies Trust 500-word writing competition 2021. Now, it's going to be my job in a moment to read out the names of all the finalists. And you might be tempted, and you're allowed to do this, you might be tempted to laugh at me because I don't know how to pronounce some of your names and I might get them wrong. So you don't need to be polite. If I mispronounce some of your names because I don't know them, you can have a jolly good laugh. I don't mind, and I will just wait. So here we go. Here are the names of the finalists from years 1 and 2. Nadia Kazem, year 1, Delamere Academy. Georgia Buckley, year 2, Delamere Academy. And Rueben Hornby, year 2, Delamere Academy. The finalists from years 3 and 4. Rosie Charley, year 4, Ellesmere Primary School. Alex Caunce, year 4, Acresfield Primary School. Isla Thompson, year 3, Delamere Academy. And Lilly-Marie Wadkin, year 3, Oakview Academy. Nobody laughing yet. I might have got them right so far. Now the finalists from years 5 and 6. Ava Birchall, year 5, Delamere Academy. Alex Mayne, year 6, Acresfield Primary School. Sam Haydock, year 6, Acresfield Primary School. Tanara Curran, year 5, Ellesmere Primary School. Benjamin Coward-Auclair, year 5, Grosvenor Park Academy. Eleanor Johnson, year 5, Grosvenor Park Academy. Hayley Lawlor Clarke, year 6, Weaverham Primary Academy. James Ashley, year 6, Weaverham Primary Academy. Now, before we talk about the overall winners, just want to congratulate all of you because writing a story is the hardest writing skill of all. So if you wrote a story that basically had a beginning, a middle and an ending and it all hung together, you've already achieved a lot. So feel good, even if you don't manage to become one of the overall winners. So here we go. Oh, well, first of all, I better tell you, if you're a finalist, any kind of finalist, you get a £10 Waterstones voucher, which you could spend in Waterstones or you can spend in W.H. Smith. And there's a special £100 prize. Can you believe that? £100 prize goes to Delamere Academy for encouraging the most children to take part. Right, now we get to the winners. And I know you can't all be winners, and we've all experienced disappointment in our lives, haven't we, as recently as last weekend when we didn't quite win the European Championship. So here is third place. From year 2 of Delamere Academy, it's Rueben Hornby with his version of Jack and the Beanstalk. And you, Rueben, get a £30 Waterstones voucher and £250 for your school. It's amazing. In second place, Rosie Charley from year 4, Ellesmere Primary School with her story, Sandy Sweet. And you get a £40 Waterstones voucher and £200 for your school. And in first place, Tanara Curran, year 5, Ellesmere Primary School, the Emerald Turtle. And you get £50 in Waterstones vouchers and £250 for your school. Fantastic. And that's the end of the announcements of the winners. So we think we can all pause there and wildly applaud the winners. Fantastic. So it's my pleasure now to read out the winning stories. But I'll just tell you something before I start. I get hay fever. Do any of you get hay fever? Give me a wave if you get hay fever. Yes, 1 or 2 of you. And you know, it gets to your throat. So I might dry up halfway through the story. And if I do, I've got my glass of water. I might just need to pause and take some water. But I'll try not to spoil your stories for doing that. Okay, so here we go with the third place winner, Rueben Hornby from San. Here we go. Once upon a time, Jack and his mum were happy until they got a dragon. This was because the dragon was annoying. His name is Billy, and he is small, yellow, and very clumsy. He's always falling over, knocking things off shelves and forgetting things. So Mum tells Jack to sell Billy for some money. Meanwhile, Mum is making dinner. Jack finally puts on a bobble hat, woolly coat and snow boots with Billy. On his way to sell Billy, he meets a nice witch with some magic potatoes. "That looks like a fine dragon," says the witch. "I'll give you some magic potatoes for him." So Jack took them. And when he got home, Jack's mum was happy that Billy was gone, but not happy that Jack didn't get any money for him. When they had dinner, Jack wondered why his mum was so upset. In the morning, Jack saw a giant beanstalk from where he had planted the potatoes. "The witch was right," gasped Jack, as he started to climb the beanstalk. "Mum will be happy with me," he thought to himself, climbing even faster and faster with every step. Finally, Jack managed to reach the top of the beanstalk. "Wow," said Jack. He was higher than he could ever have imagined. Jack was happy when he saw a ginormous tower made of money. Jack squeezed under the door gap. When he finally squeezed under the gap, he saw a giant troll who was guarding the tower. Suddenly, the troll saw Jack. The troll said, "Do you want to play with me?" This surprised Jack, as the troll was actually nice and not at all mean. They played together in the tower. Jack told the troll all about Billy and how he and his mum had no money. And the troll said to Jack, "Well, I could give you thousands of pounds worth of money and I would still have too much left." "Really?" said Jack, feeling so shocked. The troll gave the money to Jack and said thank you to him. It helped him to be happy again. But one thing wasn't right. He missed Billy still. Jack climbed back down the beanstalk to go and find Billy. The witch told Jack never to give things away that are special to him. Jack said sorry to Billy that he had missed his friend and dragon a lot. And now that Jack, his mum and Billy had some money, they could all live happily ever after. And I love that story. I love that because actually I don't know if there's a moral or a lesson to be learned in the real Jack and the Beanstalk story, but Ruben's given us a good moral, a good lesson to learn at the end of his story. So well done, Ruben. Excellent story. Can I have a little drink of water now? There we go. Very nice. So we come to the second place winner. This is Rosie Charley from Ellesmere Primary School, and her story is called Sandy Sweet. Now Sandy was a girl like any other child. She loved sweets. She loved them so much, in fact, that every time she went to the shop, she would act so sweet that her parents would fall for her. They had a conversation that went like this. "Mama, Papa, would you like help with the shopping?" Sandy would say. "Oh, no, thank you, my angel. Would you like me and Mama to buy you some sweets, Sugar Plum?" Papa would say. On the days when Mama and Papa did not say they were going to buy her sweets, Sandy would bang her head against the shelf as they walked through the aisle, and this conversation would happen. Bang! "What was that?" said Mama. "Wah!" Sandy would scream. "Oh, are you all right, my perfect princess?" Sandy's parents would say. "Wah!" Sandy would scream, rubbing her head. "Oh my goodness, we feel so bad that the naughty shelves have hurt our darling daughter. Go, pick out some sweets to make your boo-boo feel better." Sandy would walk away giggling to herself as she walked to the sweets aisle. If Sandy couldn't find her favourite sweets, she would wail and scream. If her favourite sweets, double fudge toffee bonbons, were in a pack, Sandy would grab one of the packets, open it up and shove all the sweets into her pockets before dropping the packaging and running to her parents while saying, "Would you like me to grab anything?" "Yes, you can grab 2 packs of wipes, please," her mama would say, totally unaware of what her daughter had done. Sandy would skip down the aisle, giggling to herself. The day our story begins, Sandy was munching on her stolen sweets in her bedroom when she felt a stabbing pain from one of her teeth. "Ow!" Sandy wailed. "Oh, are you all right, my pumpkin?" said Mama, bursting into the room. "Ow!" squealed Sandy again. "Well, we'll have to go to the dentist," said Papa, coming in and checking her tooth. "No!" said Sandy, and she started to cry. Well, that day, Sandy did go to the dentist, and the dentist said, "Sandy has been eating too many sweets. She has a cavity in her tooth. I'll have to fill it." An hour later, the cavity was gone, But this was not the end of our story. A few months passed and Sandy went back to the dentist, who told her there were more cavities. "Do you ever brush your teeth?" he asked. "Yes," said Sandy with a grin. "I don't think you have ever brushed your teeth," said the dentist. Sandy was fed up. She leapt out of the chair and ran. She ran and ran until she ran into the dentist. Sandy had eaten so many sweets that all her teeth were rotting, and one by one they were all falling out. That's a great story. Really good story, Rosie. I like that because it's got a good moral to it, a good lesson to be learnt there. Great. So we now come to the overall winner. The first place story from Tanara Curran of Year 5 from Ellesmere. And it's called The Emerald Turtle. I woke up Christmas morning teary because I missed my mum. It's been a year since she died, and it's our first Christmas without her. I gazed out of the window, watching the snow flurry. Suddenly I heard thundering footsteps like a herd of elephants dancing in the hallway. The twins burst into my bedroom and dived on my bed shouting, "It's Christmas! Get up, Connie!" I stretched my legs and followed Nadia and William down the stairs. Dad was sitting in the living room. The twins tore through their presents. "Come and sit by me, Connie," Dad called. I slumped on the sofa next to him. "Merry Christmas, sweetheart," he said, as he passed me a small box wrapped neatly in shiny green paper and finished with a pretty white bow. "Your mum wanted you to have this, and you must take good care of it." As I lifted the lid of the box, a beautiful emerald turtle on a silver necklace glinted in the light. It was the necklace that Mum always wore. "I wondered what had happened to it," I gasped. "Thank you." "Well, your mum wanted me to give it to you when I thought you were ready to look after such a precious gift," he said with a smile. We all enjoyed Christmas together. I still missed Mum, but the little turtle necklace made it feel like she was there with me. That night, I held tightly onto the turtle as I drifted off to sleep. Suddenly, I was awoken by what sounded like someone whispering my name. "Connie, Connie, wake up." It was dark and I couldn't see, but the voice sounded familiar. I reached over to my bedside lamp and switched it on, and there was no one there. "Connie, Connie, down here," said the voice. I looked down, and on the bed next to me was the emerald turtle waving at me. "Connie, it's me," it said. "Mum?" I was so confused. The turtle had come to life, but it sounded like Mum. "Yes, it's me, Mum. Oh, how I have missed you, darling." The turtle, Mum, explained to me that it was a very old magic emerald, and whoever wore it had the power to speak to loved ones that were no longer with us. I was confused, but so happy to be talking to Mum again. We spent all night talking about school, the twins, Dad, and looking back at memories together. I must wake up the twins," I shouted. "Oh, you can't. The magic only works for the person that owns the necklace. This is something only you can see and hear." Well, how will anyone believe me? I thought to myself. But we carried on sharing memories until my eyes felt heavy and I fell asleep. "Connie, Connie!" the twins shouted as they jumped to my bed. It was morning and the light shone brightly through my window. I quickly reached down for the turtle necklace and smiled. I could still feel her there with me, my mum, the emerald turtle. That is such a fantastic story. And I'm glad I managed to get through that, because when I read it myself at home, I thought, will I be able to read that out loud without crying? Because it's such a moving story. So, fantastic, Tanara. You are worthy of the first prize winner. But congratulations to you all. You've done a great job. And I just have to finish the way Town Crier has always finished, with, "May God bless you all! God save the Queen!"